Welcome to another Unitrend Certified Administrator course. Today we're going to talk about retention policies. Dropping into the UI under the Configure Protected Assets tab, you'll see that we have a Manage Retention button up on the top. From here I can create policies, and I can name this whatever I'd like. Typically, most customers should create a 30 days retention policy. And this should typically be the default policy that's applied to all new assets when you set this appliance up. So we would say that I want to be able to go back anywhere in the last 30 days worth of backups. That means if I have hourlies within those days, or even if I'm running more often, I can go back anywhere in those last 30 days. But we can also augment this with weekly, monthly, and yearly backups. Weekly being the last backup of every Saturday. So if I run a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. schedule, I would be keeping the 6 p.m. backup on Saturdays for however many weeks you need. Typically beyond this level, this is not usually kept longer on physical appliances. Physical appliances are usually sized for a 30 to 60 day retention on box, but once you've run for 30 days, you can always review your storage reporting to figure out whether or not you have more space available to increase the space for more systems to have more retention. Certain systems like print servers, for example, you can limit those down to a 15-day retention policy since you likely will never need to go back more than 2 weeks. But for customers who choose to oversize their physical appliances or go with our software appliances that can be scaled dynamically, we can also choose to keep monthly and yearly backups. A monthly is the last backup that occurred on the last day of the month. So for example, May 31st, the 6 p.m. backup, if I'm running a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., the 6 p.m. backup would be what I would maintain for 12 months. And the yearly backup is always the last backup of December 31st. After creating your policies, we can then come in and apply them to different assets. For example, if I wanted to, I can select this individual virtual machine and then change whatever policy that I'm maintaining that data under. We can also do this as a bulk operation for virtual machines by selecting the top level, and you'll see that we can select to change all of them. And note that if we do change this and machines currently have more retention available, that it will purge off backups that are beyond that retention. Meaning if I move from a 60-day to a 30-day policy, anything that's beyond 30 days is going to be purged off the system. We can also do this for individual assets for a file level, or if we have an image level backup. Some customers, for example, will have an application server that they choose to back up the entire machine once a night, every night at midnight. Doing an image level backup would capture all the OS data and ensure that we could do a quick bare metal recovery of the entire machine. But they'll choose to also run a file level backup from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every hour for a very specific directory, like a QuickBooks directory, for example, and allow that to run throughout the day to where we're not targeting the whole file system throughout the day, we're targeting just that specific directory. And I can have a different retention policy for the file level backup of the directory than I do for the whole OS. I could keep the whole OS for 15 days and keep the folder for 30 to 60. You do have to make sure that these schedules do not run at the same time though, and of course that there are no conflicting backup products that may interfere. For more information on retention, please check our admin guide or Kaseya University. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful week.